I've covered Bigfoot here a few times on YouTube, but it's been a few years, so I thought I'd make another video on Bigfoot. There's a handful of critters, essentially the same critter, just different names. Bigfoot, Yowie, Sasquatch, skunk ape. The abominable snowman is kind of the all-white version of this critter. Pretty much the same, very massive, very large, hairy critter. The skunk ape is down there in in southeastern United States. The yowie is in Australia. Now there's supposed to be one critter up in Alaska and Western Canada. Supposed to be very very aggressive, that attacks and maybe eats people. I've heard that. I don't know if that's true or not. Now let me get. I'll give you some of my theories on what abominable or the Bigfoot might be. Now one theory. Well, let me go back to Neanderthals because they fascinate me. Now if you go before modern humans, when we had what I call proto-humans, there's a handful of these that exist in different parts of the world. They've all kind of evolved into modern humans today. But there's a number of different branches of early humans, and one theory says that well, I'll cover Neanderthals and modern humans in another video because I've done that a few times. I just love talking about Neanderthals because they really modern humans, Neanderthals, early human beings. So this idea fascinates me. But anyway, this idea that one branch of proto humans didn't die out; they evolved into. It's a fairly prominent theory that people that that do believe in Bigfoot, that do believe that there's a critter, a flesh and blood critter. I'm gonna get to that in a second too. Um, but a flesh and blood critter has evolved into modern day Bigfoots, and that may well be. Now, another theory that we never find any bodies, we never find any bones of Bigfoot critters. I don't. They've found hair, but the hair where they've checked and the hair turns out to be human. Now, if these are offsets of modern humans, the DNA may be close enough to modern humans that they may be Bigfoot hair and just test as human. That's possible. Now, one theory I had. Now, this goes back to I've covered this before. If you know what a shapeshifter is, now the Navajo have a word for this, and the Navajo. I mean, some Navajo will discuss it with you if you talk to them, and some Navajo I need to phrase this correctly. They're of the belief that even discussing something like that is evil. If you talk about these skinwalkers, but there is a word in the Navajo language for skinwalker. But there's some Navajo. I'm not criticizing their belief system. I'm thinking that's important to them, and I wouldn't say anything bad about their particular belief system. But they are of the belief that if you talk about the skinwalker, you'll invite them into your life, and they won't. They consider it very, very evil. And from the my understanding of skinwalkers, they're people that have done some very, very bad things. So I'm in agreement with them on a number of things. But anyway, there's one theory that Bigfoot might be humans. I mean, modern humans that know how to shapeshift into a Bigfoot. We'll go out, just have fun, for a few days, week, whatever. I mean, people might go out on a camping trip, but these people know how to shapeshift into a Bigfoot. Go out there and do that for a while. Have some fun, and then transform back into just a regular human and go live a normal life. I mean, that's one theory. Another theory says these may be extraterrestrial beings. They may not fully exist on our Earth plane. That's another theory. There's all kind of wild theories out there on what Bigfoot might actually be. They might be extra dimensional beings that just kind of again only partially exist in our reality. Now let me touch on panspermia because I find this also fascinating. I'm gonna I'll probably cover that in another video because I enjoy talking about panspermia as much as well. Let me explain to you what it is, and then I'll end the video. Now, panspermia, I didn't coin the term. It's been around a long time. Let's say a planet blows up somewhere where life exists on it, and it blows up, and large chunks of their DNA survive. Live through space on a piece of rock, and land here on a early Earth. There's no life on Earth, but this the DNA from a pre-existing world lands here on Earth, and it generates life here. That's panspermia. I'm not phrasing that correctly, but I think you get the idea. If you're curious, I'll look it up. There's also ideas that not so a more frightening idea that maybe years ago, before we humans existed here on Earth, that there was other civilizations. They reached, a state of high technology, and they promptly destroyed themselves, except for a handful of small critters that evolved into modern humans today. That life has existed here far longer than there might have been quite a number of civilizations that have come and gone, that they rise to a point of high technology and promptly destroy themselves. That's a fairly frightening thought. Just tossing that out there. I didn't invent these. These have been around for a long time. Okay. Still love y'all. Ciao.